If you've been keeping an eye on the tech space lately, you've absolutely heard the name NVK floating around. But here's the thing, what you might not realize is that NVK isn't just a gadget you buy off a shelf. It's an entire ecosystem that you literally step into. So in this explainer, we're going to demystify the bleeding edge of tech by diving straight into a deep Q&A with the folks actually building this incredibly ambitious project. Let's figure out exactly what they're trying to achieve. Right, so let's just tackle the most fundamental mystery first. What exactly is NVK building? Because honestly, to an outsider looking at everything from their smartwatches and power stations to their record labels, it can kind of look like this random, scattered collection of ideas. But it turns out, NVK isn't really a traditional company at all. It's actually a question disguised as a company. They're constantly asking, what happens if technology expands human capability instead of replacing human sovereignty? Like, what would actually happen if we could own more of our technology rather than just endlessly renting access from giant centralized corporations? And that's where the NVK connected ecosystem comes into play. We're talking NVK technologies for AI and software, NVK e-commerce for products, NVK solar for energy, plus records for music, automotive for mobility, and crypto for decentralized tech. These aren't just disconnected side hustles. They're deeply connected layers of a massive coordinated ecosystem. They are bringing artificial intelligence, hardware, and culture under one unified roof to solve different pieces of the exact same puzzle. So you'll hear NVK use this specific phrase a lot. AI you own, not AI you rent. But what does that paradigm shift actually look like in practice? Well, think about the old model versus the NVK model. For years, we've basically just blindly relied on centralized systems, right? You rent cloud AI, you pay a monthly subscription, your personal data gets beamed off your device, and if your internet goes down, you're completely dead in the water. NVK totally flips that script. They offer a local-first model where the AI is built directly into your hardware. You buy it once, your data stays totally private, and it works offline. They're fundamentally changing who holds the keys to the intelligence. By shifting toward actual user sovereignty, you get open, auditable control over your own data, your own models, and your own workflows. When your AI runs locally, you aren't suddenly at the mercy of a server crashing, a subscription jacking up its price, or a privacy policy changing literally overnight. The absolute core belief driving this entire project is just this: your intelligence infrastructure should fundamentally belong to you. Now, having sovereign local devices is fantastic, but they do need a way to talk to each other, which brings us to a major concept. What is the sovereign nexus? The sovereign nexus is essentially their grand architectural vision. It's how they connect autonomous intelligence, memory, agents, tools, systems, and people all into one coordinated ecosystem. It acts as the connective tissue, linking up your temporal memory, your autonomous agents, and your client-side AI, so they all work together in perfect harmony. And the best part? Human sovereignty remains dead center. You are the director of this intelligence orchestra. To actually make that ecosystem function, you need an interface, and that is where Codexa steps in. Now, Codexa isn't just a chatbot sitting in some browser tab that instantly forgets who you are the second you close it. No, it's a full-blown intelligence operating system. It connects everything, it remembers your past interactions, it reasons through multi-step plans, it uses digital tools, and it coordinates all those autonomous agents to execute complex workflows completely on your behalf. But look, sometimes you need heavy lifting that goes beyond local processing. When you need that really deep analysis, the system taps into the Omega Logic core reasoning path. It doesn't just spit out plausible-sounding text. It tackles genuine complexity. It starts by taking a problem and decomposing it. Then it handles reasoning and branching, does rigorous verification, synthesizes a cohesive solution. And only then does it take action. It's built for real-world, multi-layered problem-solving. Okay, so here's a question we get all the time. What do e-commerce products actually have to do with AI? Why is an advanced tech company also selling, clothing and physical devices? It's because they view these physical products as interfaces between the digital and the physical. We're talking the NVK Time Machine wearable, Vision AI glasses, the Orb Companion, Apex Phantom for movement and energy power stations. These aren't just random gadgets to sell. NVK wants technology to exist far beyond a screen. These physical items are the actual, tangible bridges between their digital ecosystem and the physical reality you walk around in every single day. The broader concept is a pretty radical transition, moving intelligence much closer to us. It's about pulling us away from just staring at glowing rectangles all day long and moving toward an environment that is naturally filled with ambient intelligence. The progression moves from the screen straight into your physical environment, making intelligence totally seamless in your daily life. Literally, the idea is that your body becomes another interface for intelligence. With a device like the Time Machine smartwatch, it's not about checking your texts or seeing the time. It's about seamlessly integrating your AI companion right into your physical world. When you wear this tech, interacting with your sovereign intelligence feels completely natural, immediate, and totally integrated with you. Now, as we keep peeling back the layers, things get wonderfully weird. We run into deep futuristic lore, glowing portals, headphone heroes, which begs the question, why mix mythology with technology? Most tech companies give us a sterile, gray app and call it a day, right? Well, NVK believes that humans just don't experience the world as sterile databases, so they anchored their philosophy in what they call the Tri-Sophian Codex. This breaks down into three interconnected dimensions: logos, which is structure, reasoning, and knowledge; mythos, which is meaning, narrative, and identity; and physics, which covers reality, systems, and action. They firmly believe that true intelligence doesn't just need to know facts, it has to understand narratives and meaning. As they put it, the myth gives the engineering a universe to live inside. I absolutely love that. They're using mythology not as some distraction, but as a highly creative user interface to explore complex ideas. They aren't replacing the hard engineering with fiction. They're using music, visual art, and storytelling to turn the technology into something you don't just use, but something you actually feel and experience. But of course, with all this talk of highly advanced, ambient, artificial intelligence, we have to address the elephant in the room. Is NVK trying to create AI that eventually replaces people? The answer from founder Nevik Elmo is a massive, resounding no. Their whole equation is this: human plus sovereign intelligence is greater than human plus dependency. The philosophy is strictly about expanding what you can create, understand, and control. A human empowered by their own sovereign machine intelligence will always outpace a human who's completely dependent on a centralized, rented system. It is entirely about profound empowerment. So, if we are successfully pushing intelligence out into the physical world, what are the limits? Are robots part of the future here? Yes, but they aren't building robots just for the sci-fi wow factor. Take a look at the path to physical intelligence. It's a natural progression, starting with digital AI, moving to software agents, then physical devices, extending into robotics, and ultimately culminating in fully autonomous environments. Every piece of hardware has to have a distinct functional purpose within the wider ecosystem. Obviously, a vision this incredibly massive requires a huge community to pull off, which leads to a really important question. How can you participate? Are you just meant to be a customer? Absolutely not. They have a saying, a customer buys something. A builder expands the system. They actively want you to move way past being a passive consumer. They are inviting you to experience the future right now by building, creating, and questioning right alongside them. Use their tools, create new art, develop apps, and help push the absolute boundaries of what sovereign intelligence can actually achieve. So I want to leave you with this final, profound thought to ponder as we figure out who gets to shape the future of our intelligence infrastructure. What happens when we stop asking what technology can do to people and start asking what technology can help people become? Instead of fearing what tech might take from us, imagine the heights we could reach if it was truly built to expand human capability. That is the ultimate question at the heart of NVK.